Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. We've covered a lot of various topics through the years, but it's time to cover one we've never done before, and it's time to put ourselves to the test. On this gaming-packed episode, we'll be drafting the best indie games of all time. That's right, we're going head to head to see who can put together the greatest list of indie games that history has ever known. The game choices will matter, strategy will matter, but in the end, you will decide who the king of indie is. But first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, he may be at a small disadvantage with his general lack of expertise in the indie format, but he more than makes up for it with his competitive nature and his charming good looks. It's Ryan.
I don't know how I feel about this. You guys were asking me before, like, Ryan, you sure you got enough games? Do you need some help? Do you need a hand? Like, I've played some indie games in my time, guys.
Admittedly, you have not played the extent or the variety of indie games.
This is true.
Number one, neither of us have, compared to this next feller. But you may not have the depth of knowledge.
I'll accept it.
Yeah. And then joining us, he might actually have the most to lose on this episode. We're in his world and he's got the belt. But this is his first draft ever. Does he have what it takes to face the challenges ahead and go up against two seasoned veterans? It's Ace.
No, are you kidding me? This would be light work. I mean, come on.
Oh,
you two?
Okay. Oh, here we go.
You two indie games? Yeah, sure.
Ace is so confident right now. But Ace, man, when this draft gets going and you get sniped and the game that you were going to pick gets taken and you start scrambling, man, it's a whole different world then, buddy.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, welcome in, everybody. We're doing the impossible. We are going to go head to head to draft the best indie games of all time. This is going to work basically like a snake draft. So we randomized the draft order. Ace paid off the AI that we used to randomize this. So Ace gets the first pick, Ryan gets the second pick, and then I pick third. The one caveat to that is because I have to wait to pick third, I get to pick back to back. So I will start the second round of picks after that. We're going to do this until we each have 5 games, and then that's it. We're going to put this up on social media and in our community and let people decide who drafted the best list of indie games of all time. But man, this is going to be a heck of a fun episode, man. We're going to be talking about some of the all-time greats. Yeah, I can't wait for this. But we do have just a tiny bit of housekeeping. Ace, I believe that you have a review to read.
Oh, yeah, you know it. Here we have a 5-star review that's titled The Office of Podcast by... Oh, my God, how do you read that?
Good luck, Ace. Good luck, Ace.
J-Dibby. We'll call you J-Dibby.
Oh, gosh.
Remember during the pandemic, people streamed like 1 billion minutes of The Office? That's because that's what felt like when you were watching with old friends, and it was comfort in hard times. This is exactly the same thing for game nerds. Keep it up. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's super kind of you.
Dude,
I'm sorry
anybody that refers to us as the Office of podcasts?
The same vein as the Office, I'm in.
High praise,
I'm in
brothers.
too.
High praise.
Oh, how the turntable.
Oh, how the turntables, buddy. All right, well, let's get into this draft, boys. I'm excited about this. And Ace, you have the very first pick. So in theory, you are picking the number one indie game of all time with this pick right here in your mind. So is it going to be recency bias? Is it going to be like Ender Magnolia? Is it going to be Tales of Iron? Or is it going to be some deep cut that nobody's ever heard of because Ace just loves this game so much? Or is it going to be one of the more popular indie games? Is he going to play to the crowd and abandon his true nature?
I'm a sellout, boys. We've all
I
played this game before. I'm picking Hollow Knight, the ultimate revival of Metroidvanias within our lifetime.
Oh, man.
Dang it.
All right.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. I was you weren't
getting Hollow Knight if I got first pick.
There's a few directions you could have gone, but yeah, that's a dang good pick. What a game, man! What a game,
dude. Hollow Knight's so good. Like, self-professedly, I'm not a huge fan of Metroidvania games, but Hollow Knight is just an all-timer for me. It is absolutely near the top of my list. I could see this being taken as the 101. You know, I mean, when it comes to indie games, we've all played Hollow Knight.
Exactly.
Like, we've all loved Hollow Knight. I mean, I think that's a good, safe pick that makes a lot of sense for the first pick on this one. Do you guys think Silksong's going to be better?
I feel like at this point, it's been so long. If it's not, there will be riots. And
it almost feels like kind of like the Half-Life 3 situation now, that it's been so long and there's so much of a buildup and anticipation and expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got to be great and revolutionary and next level. Otherwise, you know, if it's just good, it's going to be a letdown.
Oh, yeah, no. If it doesn't at least live up to the hype of base game Hollow Knight before all the content got added to it,
yeah,
massive letdown.
Yeah, I have a feeling I think it's going to be better, guys. Like, legitimately. And maybe that's just the optimist in me, but I think that's why they're taking their time with this game. And I think Silksong is actually going to be like, you know, what Red Dead 2 was to like Red Dead, for instance. I think it's going to, or Kingdom Come 2 versus Kingdom Come Deliverance. You know, I think they are actually going to say, look, we took everything we learned from the first game and we improved on all of it. So,
well, hopefully you get to play it in your lifetime.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to need somebody to like write on my tombstone, like Silksong, like, you know, solid, 98% overall, you know, overwhelmingly positive or something like that.
I'll record you a Let's Play and like leave it there for you.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Ace starts us off with Hollow Knight. Ryan.
Oh, baby.
I feel like Ryan's the wild card on this show, man.
Oh, he absolutely
like, I don't know.
Okay,
I know what I would pick on this pick right here, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I'm already going to start and preface this with I'm going to need a judge's ruling on this. So I am going to go with a game. Came out. It's an older game originally, and it came out in 2011. It is the highest selling game of all time, over 300 million copies.
Oh, no.
And I'm going with Minecraft.
Minecraft is an indie game, man.
Yes,
yeah,
best selling game of all time.
It doesn't mean it's good.
Does that mean it's the best indie game? That's the question. I mean, 300 million people would probably agree with you. I know my kids would be like, yeah. Duh.
And I am not a big Minecraft guy, but I recognize what's there and what it can do and what it's done, you know, for kind of indie gaming as a whole. So, yeah, I mean, just ask anyone if they know what Minecraft is. And the majority of people, even like the elderly, know what Minecraft is. You know, they got some grandson or granddaughter that plays it, you know, and it's such a massive game, especially for being an indie.
I mean, few indies get movies with Jack Black as the lead role.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That movie does not look good, dude.
No,
it does not look good to me.
It looks like garbage.
You would think that like they're taking, you know, they're going to finally make this Minecraft movie, right? And it's going to be like, okay, well, we got to knock this out of the park. And then I feel like they were just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like 100 million people are going to see this anyway because they're going to want to see this Minecraft movie.
Yeah, just Jack Black and Jason Momoa, and they're like, yeah, we'll make our money back.
We'll figure out the plot later.
Yep.
So, guys, I'm not going to lie. I am very excited right now because, number one, I got two of the games that I was hoping would be at this pick right here. And so my first pick is quite possibly one of the best RPGs ever made. One of the games that takes you on an adventure, one of these games where you kind of start playing it and you don't know what you're in for. And then as you continue to play it, you kind of go like, dude, what the heck is this game, man? Like, what is this? It starts off with you being just completely hammered in a hotel room, trying to find your shoes and your tie. And I am taking Disco Elysium.
That's a good one.
With my first pick.
Dang it, man.
Yeah, that wasn't making it back to you.
I know. It was wishful thinking. But I was like, oh, maybe they'll totally overlook it. Like,
oh, no way, buddy. Yeah, Disco Elysium. If you have not played it, look, if you are like me, I did not think that I would enjoy Disco Elysium. I am a guy that loves combat and action in my games. I remember hearing about this game and going, dude, there's no way I'm going to enjoy this. There's no combat whatsoever. It's a whole bunch of dialogue and talking. Like, I don't think it's for me. Oh my goodness, was I wrong? And I feel like if you think that is the case for you, you are probably wrong as well. I mean, Disco Elysium is one of those all-timers, man. I mean, we have all played it.
Mm-hmm. Recently, I replayed it recently. It is an incredible game, and it's an experience like you can't get anywhere else. Even though it lacks like direct action, you never feel bored or like you're not doing anything.
Never.
There's always somewhere to look or what's that over there? And should I pick that up or check that out? And it is far superior once they added the voice lines and you didn't have to just read all that stuff. Like, it's so much better.
I couldn't read it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. That's why I didn't play it the first time.
I couldn't read it either. Like, honestly, so if you were somebody that tried Disco Elysium way back in the day when you had to read everything, give it another try now. The voice acting in that game is second to none. It really just changes the entire experience. But yeah, so that's my first pick. Now I'm torn because I have one that I'm not sure that you guys would go to right away. But I also have one that I think will absolutely not make it back to me. So I'm going to take the one that I think is not going to make it back to me. And that is, I don't know, just a little game that changed the roguelike indie game, genre forever. A little game where you are a guy by the name of Zagreus. You are trying to escape Hades to get out on your own. Your aunts and your uncles on Mount Olympus are helping you out. I am taking Hades. This game changed the roguelike world. Like, honestly, I mean, when Hades came out, it took the world by storm. It has often been copied. It has tried to be replicated. There are very few games that have done it. Honestly, I can't think of any game that's done it. Sworn is looking real close.
Sworn is super close. I will say, I'm not trying to give any spoilers on Sworn yet, but Sworn is as close as I've seen someone get to perfecting that almost Hades bar. Because Hades absolutely raised the bar for what people expect out of a top-down roguelike like that. Like, it is absurd, the quality.
Something different there for sure. And now I've seen a lot of footage of it. I've yet to play it. I have recently been falling in love with roguelikes. We started with Josh with Endless Dungeon, and I was like, oh, these are kind of sweet. This is Risk of Rain 2. We got a lot into that and stuff. So Hades is one I haven't been able to hit up yet, but every time I tell them, they're like, what? Dude, you gotta play Hades. So yeah, it's on the list for sure.
It defined the genre, like legitimately. Yeah. There's a few games out there, and I mean, there's a few indie games that may or may not be on my list that define their own genres and stuff like that. And so I think that's a pretty good sign when other developers and games try to go, dude, we got to copy this.
Oh, absolutely.
This is great. Like, let's capitalize on this. And as gamers, I don't think we mind that so much. Give me more of what I like is not a bad thing. I think it only becomes a problem when it becomes like oversaturated at that point. And we're just like, okay, guys, like this is the 10,000th game like this. Like, I'm good. I don't need any more.
We got enough battle royales.
Another roguelike.
All right, Ryan, we are back to you. Your second pick.
Oh, man, I am actually surprised this one is here for me. I honestly didn't even put Hades on my list because I figured it was going to go with Josh, especially having two at the back end of those picks there. I'm going to go with a game that I'm not the biggest indie guy, so I haven't played some of these, but I know that it's a huge one. I've watched a lot of footage, and I actually enjoy just sitting and watching people run this game. I'm going to go with Celeste.
Dang it!
Oh. See, when we say Ace, how's it feel to get poached, man? Now what are you gonna do?
I've got plenty. I just didn't think Ryan, of all people, would take Celeste.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You guys did not give me any credit. You were asking if I was going to have enough games to pick for this tournament.
I love this so much. Ace is tilting already, man.
I love it. Yeah, lay it on me. What do you got to say about Celeste, brother? Come on.
Do you even know the protagonist's name in Celeste?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But we clarified this before, and we said, is this our favorites, or is this just best of all time? You guys were like, best of all time. Personal opinion doesn't matter. And I'm like, all right, say less, homie. That's all I need.
her name's Madeline, by the way.
It is. It's Madeline. Yeah. The mountain's name is Celeste, if you wanted to know.
Dude,
the more you learn.
I played Celeste in the last, I'd say, year and a half. Like, I was very late to it because the graphics put me off big time. Celeste is, in my opinion, one of the best platformers ever made. Like, I can honestly say that, dude. Like, it is one of the best platformers. If you were like me and the graphics put you off, you'll get over it, I promise. The gameplay is literally that good.
It looks so hard.
It is hard. Like, and it can be as hard as you want it to be. You start getting to like the cassette like side, what is it, C or something like that?
Oh gosh.
It gets to be just a torture device at that point, man.
I'm good now. I snaked his pick there. So
I genuinely thought I got it past you guys when Josh didn't take it as second pick. I was like, oh yeah, I've got this. Ryan doesn't even know what Celeste on my list is.
Too. Yeah.
All right, let's see your like fourth pick. Like, what do you have?
All right, Ace. Well, now that you got full tilted here, you get back-to-back picks, buddy.
Oh yeah, it's super great that I get back-to-back picks.
We told him he thought he was going to come in and walk us. You know?
I know.
This is one I know might be on your list, but you know nothing about.
Ooh.
It is a pixel art turn-based RPG that took the world by storm when it came out and kind of revived the indie genre from where it was, and that is a little game called Undertale.
I figured Undertale might get taken. Here's the thing with Undertale, and this is not to slander your pick, Ace, because I know people that consider Undertale one of like the most master like full games that has ever been developed by somebody. Mm-hmm. The only issue with Undertale is it either hits, and it hits extremely hard for people, or people try it and they just go, what the heck is this game, man? Like, I don't get it. I tried Undertale and I put about 2 hours into it. And then I was one of those people that just went, dude, I don't know what the heck this game is.
Oh yeah, no, if you don't get that emotional connection with it, like within the first hour, you're not going to go anywhere with it, because the whole point of it is not to fight monsters and level up. It's to be human and show humanity and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Undertale also has one of the best soundtracks of a game, doesn't it? I hear, because again, I've only tried it for like 2 hours. Again, it just didn't click with me, and maybe that's not fair to the game, and maybe I need to give it another shot at some point. I know there's thousands of people that are nodding their heads and being like, yes, if Undertale didn't get mentioned, like, I quit.
It is
so I'm glad you brought it up.
Names.
I just don't know that much about it, other than people really, really love Undertale, and it does have one of the best soundtracks for an indie game.
All right.
All right, Ace, you get another one.
Oh,
another
boy.
one. Back to back, baby.
There is a game that I mean, there's a few games, but there is one game in particular that I'm really hoping makes it back around to me. So,
there's this great little game where you fly through space and you just happen to be stuck in a time loop and the sun is exploding.
Nah, maybe that's on my list. But I don't think either one of you are taking it, number one.
No, you don't think so?
No, you wouldn't do that to me, Ace.
Well, that's too bad. I'm taking Subnautica anyways.
Dang it! No! You did this on purpose, Ace! Dang it, man.
I love it.
Dang it.
I love it.
Dang it.
That was definitely on my short list too.
Oh, you actually played that one.
I did.
Yeah,
you did. You at least have some experience with that one.
I would hope.
Imagine how much
early access for 5 years.
Imagine how much Ryan would have loved Subnautica if he hadn't gotten his Cyclops stuck at the bottom of the ocean with no batteries, and then spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to get back down there,
like 400 meters down or whatever it was. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I got like 20 hours, 30 hours into this. I'm out of here. This is enough for me.
That's enough for the deep dive.
Yeah. I feel like we were trying to like all jump in and help you brainstorm on like, well, Ryan, okay, if you take the prawn suit down, maybe by the time it starts to decompress, you can jump out, and then swim down to the Cyclops. And then like 20 minutes later, Ryan's like, nope, I died.
Yep. Nope. No more. No, thank you. I'm out.
Man, I love Subnautica, but it gives me anxiety when I get deep down there and it's dark and I'm all by myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Subnautica is one of my favorite games, dude. Like, I don't pretend that it's one of the best games ever made, but Subnautica, and I've said this before, Subnautica is the game, kind of like Endless Dungeon for Ryan, that kind of taught him, like, hey, I kind of like roguelike games, man. Like, I get the gameplay loop. Subnautica was the game that taught me that I really, really enjoy survival crafting games with like good progression elements to it. And I mean, people are probably tired of hearing me talk about how much I love progression in a game, but Subnautica is the game that taught me that, you know, and it's just such a masterpiece, dude.
Just makes everything worth it. Everything you do leads to the next thing. And then the progression, that's the word, because it just keeps going and keeps going. And you always are achieving something as you go and play the game. So yeah, that's a solid pick.
All right, Ryan, we're going to get back to your pick, but we're going to take a quick break and then we will be right back with Ryan's pick. All right, we're back. It is Ryan's pick. Ryan, this is going to be your third pick. Right now, just to give people a breakdown on what we have going on here, we have Ace with Hollow Knight, Undertale, and Subnautica. Oh my goodness. We have Ryan with Minecraft and Celeste, and we have me with Disco Elysium and Hades. There is one game that I really just don't want you to pick, Ryan.
Yeah.
There's one, and if you don't take it, I'll be so excited, and if you do take it, I will be very upset. So
now I'm second guessing my
I know
pick.
Ryan's like, well, I had a pick, but now if I could troll Josh,
that's what matters
actually
to
steal
me.
his pick.
I told you guys before we started this, like that's where I'm going with all this. But
yeah, all right, what's your pick, Ryan?
I'm gonna go with a game that is one of your favorites, Josh. Big time esports game, very, very popular. I'm gonna go with Rocket League.
You son of a...
Is that it? Is that the one?
It's not the one that I want to write here. So it is bittersweet. It is bittersweet because there's no way either one of you was gonna take Rocket League, man.
Nope. I didn't.
Ace, have you ever played Rocket League?
I played it once on Nintendo Switch and never touched it again.
No.
Okay.
It's definitely
Ryan,
I do not like
I get back-to-back picks. I was gonna take the game that I want, which I'm gonna get, so I'm at least happy about that. And then I was taking Rocket League, man.
Yeah. It was that or Rust, so enjoy. You can have Rust, but no, Rocket League. I have not played anywhere near your level or anyone else's. I played it with my son here and there, messed around. He plays it. I'll sit and watch him, or we'll watch people play the game. But for how many people play this game and still stream it, and how popular it is, it's just something that within that world that resonates with people. I don't know if it's just the flipping or the cool ways you can score, or all the different angles. Something about it just seems to click, out there.
I've got a confession, guys. I had no idea Rocket League was an indie.
Yeah.
I thought it was an Epic Games thing.
No, it's been an indie. I mean, Psyonix was the one that developed this game. And when it released, the world lost its mind, man. It's one of those few games where I actually said, like, let me see what all the hype is about. Played 2 matches and then went, oh my goodness. And I instantly called like 4 friends and went, dude, you guys have absolutely got to pick up Rocket League. We have to play this right now. Yeah, and then they jumped in and they're like, "Oh my goodness! Like this game's amazing!" And yeah, 1,700 hours later, I still have Rocket League installed.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that game so much, and I hate you so much, Ryan.
Love you guys.
I can't believe you took Rocket League from me. I'm the Rocket League. I have 1,700 hours in that game.
Why do you think I did it?
Oh, you jerk!
Listen,
dude.
You guys thought I didn't do my research.
Okay.
You didn't think I didn't know. You don't think I know things.
That's okay, because I can't believe this game made it back to me. And this is the one where I almost took this with my second pick. This is, we have already said, this is one of the funnest video games that has ever been made. It made our list when we did that episode. This is a game that you can play with your friends. The builds that can occur in this game are second to none. I am taking Risk of Rain 2. Oh, it is one of the best indie games ever made. If you haven't played it, you are missing out. I love Ace's face when he started to realize it. He was like, dang it.
Another roguelike. God.
Oh, man. Risk of Rain 2 is so good, dude.
It is one of the most incredible 3D roguelikes, and it's multiplayer, so you can play with friends. Like, come on.
Oh, absolutely. Dude. I really grew to love roguelikes when we played Endless Dungeon. When we hopped on to Risk of Rain 2, that's when I fell in love with them. Like, that's what took me to that next level where, like, okay, I love this game style. I love the way we can hop in, and then us being able to do it together, and then just have that multiplayer aspect of it. There was something that I never experienced before, and it hit all the markers that just makes you fall in love with the game.
Dude, it's the fun factor for Risk of Rain is second to none. The progression in that game is fantastic with all the different characters that you can unlock, and they all play so differently. So it's like you get the joy of like just trying these new characters that you unlock, and then you can kind of upgrade their abilities. You have to complete these kind of neat little quests to unlock some of the abilities where it's like you have to kill 50 enemies while airborne. And then it's like, oh, boom, that unlocks a skill for you that you, or is like an upgraded or alternate skill. Like how you can break that game if you get certain like drops along the way in that, and you can just stack these buffs and stuff like that. Not every run is that way, but man, when it happens and you're just like, I didn't know this game could go to this level, man. I love Risk of Rain. I'm so glad it fell to me right here. All right. So this is where I'm struggling a little because I was going to take Rocket League right here. Like that was it. I was like, nobody's going to take Rocket League from me. And I'm very excited that Risk of Rain 2 was there. But if I had Risk of Rain 2 and Rocket League, I would legitimately feel like I won this draft. So here's the problem. I'm back to I have some games on my list that I think there is a chance that might make it back to me, but this is my next to last pick as well. I only get one pick after this. And I'm really torn between two games on this one. Man, I'm going to go with my heart, guys. There's a game that I think I should take right here. I really think I should take it, but I am taking Outer Wilds.
There it goes. I figured it would.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's not a Josh draft for indie games if I don't take Outer Wilds, man. I got to be true to myself,
I hinted at it earlier.
I know you did. And here's the thing. I'm going to mention this because a good friend of the show, a listener for a long time, a good friend of ours, we've been playing a lot of Rivals together. Rigo, I know, is listening, and Rigo recently jumped into Outer Wilds and kind of streamed it, and I watched him play one night, and all the nostalgia came back for me on that game. And then it's so awesome because like a few days later, he was just like, Josh, what the heck is this game, dude? Like, what have you done to me? And then I was like, yes, this is great. And then I think it was literally yesterday. He just went, dude, I have to thank you for putting this game in front of me because this is one of the wildest video game experiences I've ever had. And that is just what I love to hear. And people that play Outer Wilds and have that experience are the ones that put it in that category where they just say, dude, if I could wipe my memory and play this game again, like all over for the first time, I would. It also happens to be one of the best indie games ever made, in my opinion. So I am locking up Outer Wilds so that it will be on my list and people aren't like, Josh, dude, like, what the heck, man? You're always talking about this game. You didn't even draft it.
Oh, I have a bad feeling.
That's awesome.
All right, Ryan, we are back to you, buddy.
Back to me. So I got two more.
You get two picks. Yep.
Two more picks here.
And
okay.
Ace has back-to-back picks after you, and then he's done. So if you can poach something that Ace wants, I would really like to see this Tilt Fest.
Oh, man. That's so tempting.
I prefer you didn't.
I'd
really prefer you didn't this
so
close to the finish
tempting.
line.
Just take Enter Magnolia. Just do it.
Don't do it.
Just do it. Just
Don't you do it.
That's what I said earlier. Enter Magnolia or Ori or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
You never know. I don't think I'm going to do that. I can only poach one per combatant.
Oh, so you'll do it to me, but you won't do it to Ace, huh?
I took Celeste from Ace.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, fair.
Yeah. Quit trying to bait me into doing it.
Dang it.
You know how susceptible I am to peer pressure. I'm going to go with a game for our one of our former hosts, Senor Paul, because it's got the best fishing ever. I'm going to go with Stardew Valley.
Oh,
that was on my list. It was on my short
Stardew
list.
Valley.
It's
don't
one
like
of those
Stardew
games
Valley,
that
guys.
you I can't tell you how many people just rave, and they're like, I just hop on and I just kick back and do all my little chores, and I think Josh, you said your wife loves Stardew Valley, right?
She likes those kind of games.
Those types
She hasn't
or whatever?
actually played Stardew Valley, but she would love it. I mean, 98% of people in the world love Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
the 2% that does not.
Welcome to the other 2%.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
I get it. I get why people love it. It is a masterful video game. Like, I can acknowledge that. I can acknowledge like why people love it so much. It's not my kind of game, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, I think it's one of the most highly reviewed positive games like in existence as well.
Oh, it's an
yeah,
absolute
pretty sure.
giant in the indie scene. I mean, you can't go anywhere without someone knowing what Stardew Valley is.
I like if you look up the best reviewed games of all time, I'm very, very certain that Stardew Valley is in that like top 10 list. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking, it's a 98% on Steam with 729,000 reviews,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
That does not happen. This does not happen.
Yeah.
You cannot please 729,000 people at a 98% level if there's not something there. Stardew Valley is a great pick. I would have taken it, but it would have been like, it's not my game, man.
Yeah. Solo
Yeah.
dev too, which is incredible.
Which is
That's insane.
dude.
Yeah,
What is it? Concerned Ape,
Concerned
right?
Ape. And he's already
Yeah,
working on
it's
his
just-
next game.
Something haunted.
I would too after that.
Chocolatier.
Doesn't it? I can't. I think I looked that up once, and doesn't it look just like Stardew Valley?
Probably so.
It's
Yeah.
like he just reskinned it.
Stardew
I'm
Valley
making a new
2.
game, guys. And it's
Yeah.
like,
If it ain't broke, don't fix
I
it.
mean, that's true. Oh man! All right, Ace,
Well,
this is it for
he's
you,
got
man.
two,
This is
man.
going to close out your draft.
You know,
Don't mess it up, man.
I've been drafting in the name of the people this whole time, but I think it's time I chose some of the ones closer to my own heart. And specifically, this guy, I spent $100 to have you play his game.
Oh man!
My good
Yeah.
buddy, Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
There's
nice.
no
Yep.
Celeste may be one of the greatest platformers of all the indie genre, but Shovel Knight's a close second, man, with just how much variety in the gameplay there is.
I did not expect that I was going to like Shovel Knight as much as I did, and that is a testament to the game. If you have ever wanted that feeling of popping a cartridge into your Nintendo and then having that game just kind of blow your mind, and then you play it all weekend with your buddies watching and taking turns trying to beat a level or something like that, Shovel Knight is the epitome of that feeling, dude. It really is. Like, it's such a good game. It is such a throwback game. The kind of just joy in that game, like you can tell the devs just had a good time making it. It's just a lot of fun to play. Shovel Knight is one of those, like, I don't think that game gets enough credit, to be honest with you.
It doesn't.
So I'm really glad you brought that up here, because that game should be in the forefront of people's minds for just a really fun game. Also, don't break the checkpoints like Paul did.
Yeah, don't do
You're
that.
making the game
You
way
make it
harder.
so much harder on yourself. You get an achievement for it if you do it, but I don't recommend
Yeah,
it.
no.
Poor Paul.
Oh man. All right, Ace.
All right.
Your last pick. This is it. This is rounding out your top 5 list of best indie games of all time, man.
Well, you know, y'all let me have it, so I'm going to take it. And that's Ender Magnolia.
Yeah.
I figured.
It is going to be
I
my
figured.
game of the year, and it's easily one of the greatest games I've ever played in my entire life. Like, I love it so much, and it's not even recency bias anymore because it's been a while.
That's true. Yeah, you've played a lot of other games since then. So Ender Magnolia, I wish I could speak on it. I've seen your review of it. I've heard you talk about it. What's funny is I've seen a lot of people on like social media that are starting to kind of dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing a lot of the same thing. Like, people are just like, dude, this game is beautiful. The gameplay is super good. The soundtrack is second to none
Gosh, that
on this game.
soundtrack.
Yeah. And so it's really neat to kind of see those other opinions from people that I don't know. These are like just internet strangers that are going like, dude, Ender Magnolia is awesome.
It's
so
it's
good,
wild
man.
how good too on indies the soundtracks always seem to be.
Yeah, we
like,
pointed that out before. That's like what really works for them, I think. It's what keeps people there when like they don't have the great graphics to go along with it sometimes, or they can't,
Yeah.
afford the hand-drawn graphics. It's like, oh man, this soundtrack's killer. I'm gonna keep playing this level.
it just keeps you in the mode, and it gets you in a vibe, and you just keep playing. So no, that's a solid one. I figured that would go. Like I said, I already took one. I didn't want to take your heart and soul, your baby Ender.
I'm just glad I had a backup platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
There you
All
go. All right,
Ryan,
it's me.
this is your last
Number
pick.
5. Number 5. All right. So I'm going to go with one that, again, kind of took the world by storm. And it's always weird when you're not in a certain genre or you don't play a certain type of game, and then everyone around you is talking about and playing this game. And you're like, why is everybody so obsessed with this? I don't get it. I don't understand. But people just can't help themselves, and they always keep comparing their high scores, and people are streaming it. And I'm going to go with a game called Balatro.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Balatro.
How many people?
You're welcome, everybody that was waiting for Balatro to get mentioned.
If somebody didn't pick it, we'd get yelled at for sure. But the amount of people, and even in our Discord, that just would not stop talking about it, and even just streaming in some of our channels, them playing the game. And, I'd pop in and I'd watch for 20, 30 minutes while I was doing something and then hop out. And I mean, it's just one of those games that it's never the same, and people keep getting in and just trying to beat that high score, man. And it's awesome.
I have tried to play Balatro twice now, and I love indie roguelike card games, man. And since you can't take it, like Slay the Spire is absolutely in contention for me for this last pick. I don't know if I'm taking that there or not. But like the indie roguelike card games were a huge genre. Again, I think Slay the Spire kind of set the bar there on that. But Balatro is just this crazy mix of like people's love for poker, but then the roguelike card game aspect of it as well. I've tried to play it twice and I don't know what it is. I really don't. I don't know if it's the poker aspect or what, but I just can't seem to get into it. And I feel like there's something wrong with me because it's like, this is my kind of game, man.
Why don't I love this game?
And then I've refunded it twice. Like 2 times I've refunded it. I'm sorry, everybody. Like, please don't hate me. I tried so hard, man.
It's a cheap game. You could keep it and give the money to the dev. Like, come on.
I know,
Josh,
but it's literally like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, nope, this game is not for me, man. Those devs are rich, man. They don't need my $7 or whatever it is.
Oh man.
I legitimately, this is like, you know how like people like wine, and it's like, dude, nobody loves wine, and there's people like, oh no, I love wine. No, you don't. You just forced yourself to think you like wine. That's like Balatro for me, man. Like, I just can't. I feel like if I kept playing it, I'd just be like, I'm just pretending like I like this game.
I love it. I swear, I really do. Man. I really do.
So Balatro is like alcohol, and gamers the alcohol.
It's pretty addictive to a lot of people, man. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, like they're like, I've been playing this at work. I play it in the morning before I leave for work. I hide it from my wife. Like,
I haven't seen my family in 7 days.
Oh man, dude, Balatro is a really good pick, dude.
That's a great pick.
I like my team, bro.
That's a great pick.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to mention some honorable mentions. I mentioned Slay the Spire. Dude, I really feel like for like the record, I should take Slay the Spire because it's that game that like everybody's going to be like, how did you guys not draft Slay the Spire when you talk about best indie games of all time? I might. Another game that I have bolded is this little title that kind of came out recently called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Is it indie?
Because so this is the
Judge
thing,
ruling.
right? So
let's go.
I googled it, and technically it says that Warhorse Studios is an indie developer because they are solely responsible to themselves. But at the same time, they did get bought out by a parent company called Plyon, and it's like, as much as I want to mention Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 being an indie game, I know the first one absolutely was, but yes. I don't want to try to blur that line of like, it's an indie, but it's not an indie kind of thing. So I'm not drafting that one. Although if I could and do it with like full certainty, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 belongs on that list, man.
Yeah. Y'all really like that one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
I'm going to lock it in. This one might be a little controversial as far as does it belong in the greatest indie games of all time? And I'm just going to say 3 words, boys. Rock'n'Stone!
I knew it. Gosh, dude. Okay, so here's a little behind the scenes transparency. Is I had that on my list, and then I had some other games on there, and I had scrolled up too far, and I totally forgot. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll go with Balatro. And then after I did that and explained it, and then I was like, dang it, I forgot. Oh, Deep Rock, man. And then I knew you were going to pick it because I was going to do the same thing. Rock'n'Stone.
Oh, man. Dude, Deep Rock Galactic is just a blast, dude.
Nice.
Like, I mean, it is just a blast of a video game. If you have some friends that you can hop in with, dude, this game will keep you busy for dozens and dozens of hours. You will laugh. You will have fun. I mean, it's just kicking the stupid cans around, or in the main area, getting beers with your buddies before you even go down. it's just one of these games that is just a joy to play, and it honestly it deserves to be like in these mentions, in my opinion. Deep Rock Galactic is just a dumb, fun game that has been being developed for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
And they just keep developing it. And they're awesome developers. The fans of this game are fantastic. And one of the best communities in a video game. Like, they will help you. They will not troll you, dude. Like, they will they will walk you through things. I remember jumping in one time. These dudes were so high level, and I just died like 40 times, like right in front of them. And I even was like, dude, I am an idiot. I am sorry, guys. And they were like, no way, man. Like, we're glad you're here, dude. Like, you'll get it. And I was just like, this doesn't happen. Like, what is this, man?
What is this, support? I've never felt this in my life.
It's definitely, I feel the same. It's one of those communities where everyone's just so happy to play this game that they love, that no matter what happens, they're just happy they're there, man. They're enjoying the ride. They'll help you. They want you to be as happy as they are and hop on board. That's such a good pick, because that was definitely the one I would have gone with if I remembered. But
I mean, Balatro is a pretty darn good pick.
That's a pretty great fail pick if we don't remember that one.
Real quick, let's do a couple honorable mentions if you guys have any. I'll just go. So on my list, Slay the Spire. I mentioned that one already. Forgotten City, dude. We covered that game. We did a deep dive. That game's fantastic. We had a couple listeners that played it recently and went, dude, where's this game been? Like, this is awesome. Very, very cool time loop game. Legend of Grimrock 1 and 2, old school blobber type games, dungeon crawler types. This is the game that Notch from Minecraft, when he was talking about making Minecraft 2, they're making this game called like Dungeons and Levers or Levers and Treasures or something like that. And he said that Legend of Grimrock 2 is one of his favorite games of all time. So they're kind of trying to mimic that game. And then one of my personal favorites, I actually mentioned this when we interviewed Chris Tester, the voice actor, because he actually did some voiceover in this game, is Bard's Tale 4. Dude, Bard's Tale 4 is one of like, that game is tailor-made for me. It's like the old school dungeon crawler. You go to these different cities. There's puzzles involved. There's like a really neat combat system. There's secrets galore everywhere. I mean, Bard's Tale 4 is like it's just a straight up this is perfect Josh game kind of thing. And then that is it. What do you guys got? Any honorable mentions for you guys?
Well, I've got a few, to say the least.
He's like, I got 30?
Excuse me, let me just open my dictionary of indie games.
Well, I only have a couple, so I'll give mine real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I Don't Starve. I don't know if you guys have played that game.
I have played it. I find it to be frustrating, but that was before I kind of got into roguelikes too. So maybe I need to give that one another shot.
It's wildly frustrating. It's not going to change, but you learn to love it for sure. And Fall Guys, that's just dumb, goofy fun. That one's a good one. But then another one that's super high on my list, Lethal Company.
Yeah,
that's a game that just Ace and I were talking. We were playing something else last night. We're like, we got to get back into Lethal Company. I wonder if we can convince Josh to come play with us. So yeah, that one's just I haven't had as much just goofy, dumb fun over and over again as I have with that game. So that's way up there.
Yeah. That one's so good, man. Lethal Company is an all-timer. It really is. And it's a shame it couldn't make my list because it is really that good. Well, I got a few. We already drafted a few of the roguelikes from the genre, but one of the biggest ones I would say is Enter the Gungeon.
I've never played that, dude, and I know people love it.
You would love it, man.
Dude, I was chatting with somebody the other day, and they were asking me, like, hey, have you played these various roguelike games? And it was like The Binding of Isaac, and then, what is it? Like Rebirth is the sequel to that one or whatever. Enter the Gungeon, and then there was one other one they mentioned, and I was like, dude, I've heard of all these, and I know they're like all-timers, but I've not played any of them.
I mean, they're these bullet heck games with... where you're basically like, you go into a dungeon, you gather as much material as you can and try to fight the boss to move up to the next floor like any other roguelike, but there's so much synergy with everything you pick up. And it's, each of them have their own unique style, and Gungeon just does it so well, especially because it had like a secret story hidden in there as well. But on top of that, I would also wanted to mention Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I was like, this isn't going to win me anything.
It's not going to win.
Super good. It's the scariest game of all time, in my opinion. I've said that many times, but that was one where I was like, this isn't going to get me any bonus points.
And for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. Oh man,
It is not going to win any rewards, but it definitely redefined horror for a while there. I think it really changed the way we see this psychological horror in games and things like that. And like Outlast definitely came from inspirations of Amnesia. I don't know if that's like sacrilegious to say or something.
No, I don't think so. I like psychological horror for me is the horror that really gets me. Like, gore doesn't do anything for me. The jump scares might get me kind of, but it's not like I'm scared. It's more just the anticipation of like, okay, I know it's coming kind of thing. But psychological horror will mess with my head, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just to keep it short, the last one I'll mention is Lies of P. It was hard not to draft Lies of P.
Dude, I thought about Lies of P, and as good as it is, I just felt like some of these other ones were
just
more
better, unfortunately. But Lies
like
of P,
all-timers. Like, I think that game is the best indie Souls-like game in existence, like legitimately.
Absolutely.
And I cannot wait for the DLC on it. But I just don't know that it deserves to be in like this like top 15 of all time
ever. Yeah,
kind of list. So. All right, well, let's read these lists one more time. Ace, you wound up with Hollow Knight. That's a good pick, dude. I would have loved to have had Hollow Knight fall to me, but I didn't think it was going to. Undertale, Subnautica, you jerk, Shovel Knight, and Ender Magnolia. Ryan, you wound up with the this is the one that you really played to the crowd on. Minecraft, but I can't argue with it either, man. Celeste, which was a great pick in my opinion. I'm actually kind of impressed that you took Celeste.
I can't believe you sniped Celeste.
I got to pick 4.
Yeah, Rocket League, you big stupid jerk. Stardew Valley, that's a good one, and Balatro, which is another really good one. And then I wound up with Disco Elysium, Hades, Risk of Rain 2, Outer Wilds, and Deep Rock Galactic. Is everybody just voting for themselves here as far as best list? Does anybody's list stand out to people?
My list stands out, obviously.
Yeah, my list stands out.
Oh yeah, man, my list is one of a kind. What do you mean? I play every game on my list.
Decide, we're going to let the listeners decide. We will be posting polls on social media and in our Discord server. Our community is hands down the best gaming community in existence. We say this all the time. We have people join and then people hang out and then they go, dude, I didn't believe you guys. Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. We've been doing Marvel Rivals community nights. People have been playing headliners together. If you want just genuinely good people to game with, we have the place for you. It is absolutely free to join. We just want people to enjoy playing games together. The link is in the episode description. Come join us. Come have fun. We're at almost 1,000 gamers, and it's like legitimately, they're the best gamers on the planet. I mean, everybody just is super cool to each other. People talk about games. They give recommendations. They talk about games like friends would. There's no toxicity. There's no slamming people for their opinions and saying, oh, you're dumb because you don't like Stardew Valley, Josh. And it's like, I know, but nobody's saying that either, which is nice. So yeah, come check that out. Remember to follow the podcast. Click that plus button, that follow button, because that way you get our episodes as soon as they release in your podcast app. It also helps out the show. And, if you've been listening for a while and you love the content that we are putting out to the world and you love what we're doing and the message that we are trying to put out there with No Gamer Left Behind and just, having a place where people can come together and share their love of video games, you can help us do that. You can support the podcast over at multiplayersquad.com. You can sign up for as little as $5 a month. You can cancel super easy at any time. There's really no obligation there either, but it does help out a lot. So as the reigning champion for the top 5 indie games of all time, that is it for this episode, everybody.
Yeah. All right.
Until next time, happy gaming.
Vote for me. Peace out.
See ya.